You have the option to view participation for each phase of your challenge. To do this, simply go to the activity tracking section and then click on the relevant phase. So for example, here I want to check participation in the submission phase. I'm going to click here. I can quickly see that 4 out of 5 groups have completed this step. Below, I have the recent activities showing the groups that have completed it, and below I find a table of all the participants. I can also filter them to show only those who are registered, because in this list I will have all the participants of the challenge. When I filter here by registered participants, I will only see those who are registered for this submission phase. I can also quickly check the participants who haven't submitted their work yet, or possibly those who submitted it late. In the list here, as I mentioned, I will find the list of participants, the name of their group if the work is to be done in a group, and then the various participation details. Has the work been properly validated, or is it still in draft, or has it been invalidated? Is the work considered to be without content? In fact, this column means that the student or group has viewed the challenge but has not yet started writing any information. As soon as you start writing information or adding a document, the work automatically switches to draft status. So here we can consider that if the work is marked as without content, it means the group or participant has viewed the challenge but has not started participating. You also have the option to see whether the work was submitted late or not, and if the evaluation phase has already started, you can see the number of evaluations received by the student or group for the submitted work. That's it for the submission phase, but you also have information for the following phases. So for example, in an evaluation phase, here you still have the list of recent activities as well as the different filters here to quickly see, for instance, students who have not yet completed their evaluations, students who submitted late, or students who may have overgraded or undergraded. The system actually calculates all the grades given for an assignment and checks the student's grading to indicate if there has been a potential overgrading or undergrading by that student. And you can also see it quickly with the little icon here, which means that, for example, among Emma's evaluations, there is an overgrading, and among Adam's evaluations, there is an undergrading here. So here we see the list of participants along with the number of evaluations completed by each student. Be careful, these are not the evaluations received, but rather the participation, meaning the evaluations carried out by the student. You can always see the status of the evaluation, possibly evaluations that have been invalidated, evaluations without content. So as always, the idea is that here, for example, we can see that Theo has validated 2 out of 4 evaluations. One is currently being written, that's the third one, and one he hasn't started writing at all. So it's not even in draft, that's the fourth. Next, we can also see the evaluations received. So Emma, Adam, and Jules participated in the submission phase. And for now, they have received 4 evaluations, 7 evaluations, and 5 evaluations respectively on the work they submitted. You have essentially the same information for the group members' evaluation phase. For example, here with the different filters, the list of participants, the number of evaluations to be completed, and the status of these evaluations. You also find this information for the phase of evaluating the feedback received. To go further, you can also, for the assignments that have been submitted, for example, click on the validated assignment to view it. You can view the composition of the group members. You can perform actions on the validated assignment. You can also modify it, for example, to add an additional assignment on behalf of the student. You can change it to draft, invalidate it if you consider that the work is invalid, or delete it directly. Be careful, an invalidated assignment can no longer be evaluated afterwards. You have the option to download this assignment, and if evaluations have already been carried out on it, you can view them and, always using the action button, moderate or manage them if needed. You also have these options for administration, moderation, and consultation in the other phases. For example, in an evaluation phase, you can click on the number of evaluations completed by the student to view those evaluations. So here I see that Emma evaluated Team 2, Team 1, and Team 3. She gave this comment and she gave these scores for each of the criteria. And if I want to see, for example, the work of Team 2, I can click here on View the Evaluated Response to see the work and better understand the scores that were given for this work. And you can always access the different evaluations from each phase like this by looking at the details of the evaluations. For example, evaluations that are still in draft form can also be viewed directly here. And we can see that this person is in the process of writing their evaluations, but they haven't validated them yet. If it's an oversight, for example, because sometimes it happens, students forget to validate their evaluations, you absolutely have the option to do it for them by clicking the action button here directly to change the status of this evaluation from draft to validated here. And there you go. Now I have only 3 evaluations left in draft and one that I just validated. As you can see, you have quite a lot of information and possible actions on these interfaces. But don't hesitate if you have any questions or if you would like more information.